Brothers and sisters, may God bless you, and as well those that tune in to the reflection to learn to live their life in a different manner, pleasing for our own self and for our neighbor. Among the questions that the people ask, they want me to speak regarding prudence. So today let us speak of prudence. What is prudence? Or what is it to be prudent? Prudent is to act or speak cautiously in a manner that is fair and appropriate, with much discretion, with moderation, with precaution, with observation. Be very cautious what is done or said to avoid disastrous consequences that may harm or offend or difficulties or hardships, situations towards others. So before acting or before speaking, we need to have into account all of these circumstances and analyze that we're not going to offend or harm someone with our actions so lightly or the way we speak lightly. Always we need to reflect with wisdom, with intelligence. Think before we speak. That is prudency. A person, man or woman, that is prudent, you consider them someone who is reasoning, intelligent, wise, someone who acts correctly, who behaves wisely, someone who is calm, someone who doesn't jump to conclusions to act or speak because they are careful not to offend or do things that are wrong in that moment that of which they may regret later. Cautious as well, for we have to be careful regarding the future consequences, what might happen later on. This person, prudent as well, acts with discernment. They discern. They distinguish the good from the bad. They distinguish in what moment you can speak and what moment you cannot, because not in all moments it is appropriate or correct or right to speak or do something. So that person needs to have that discernment to be able to distinguish between the good, the bad, the fair or unfair, the honorable or what is unrighteous. The person needs to act wisely and be very moderate in the way they act or think. We have in the Bible many examples, but I'm only going to read in Matthew chapter 10, verse 16, when the Lord Jesus Christ says to the apostles to preach, but he told them that they had to be prudent, wise as serpents. And what is a serpent? A serpent does not attack unless they are attacked. The serpent stays still waiting that someone attacks or hurts or harms it. If she is attacked, she as well then defends herself, but she does not attack beforehand, but is there still, or sometimes flees. That is wise as serpents. So the Lord Jesus Christ said to the apostles, you have to be very wise as a serpent and be intelligent and humble. Act with wisdom, and you will see that all will go well and things will go well in your life. You will act correctly and you will be recognized and applauded and you will be heard. So the person that is prudent is someone who is valued in society, in the community, in your household, in your family, in work, in your studies, in your business. Someone who is prudent is valued and appreciated. So we sometimes need to imitate those persons who are prudent. As well, there is an example in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 18, that says, in Samuel it says, they're speaking of King David. When they contracted him to play for King Saul, that he was disturbed by evil spirits. So they took David, who played the harp, and he played the harp so that Saul would have peace and tranquility. So it says in verse 18, then one of the servants answered and said, look, I have seen a son of Jesse the Bethlehemite, who is skillful in playing, a mighty man of valor, a man of war, prudent in speech. The Lord has him with his prudency. This youth, I recommend him for you to bring him here to the king, and he play the harp. So David was prudent in speech. He did not speak too much, as you might say, speak too much, but he thought clearly before speaking with wisdom, so that he would be understood and so that people would not be felt uncomfortable or for speaking too lightly. So he did not speak lightly. Here in 1 Samuel in chapter 18, verse 5, as well it states in verse 5 that David went out wherever Saul sent him, meaning that King Saul would send David to many places to do many tasks, and he did so and behaved wisely. And since he was so prudent that Saul placed him above those of war, and he was accepted in the sight of all the people and in the sight of Saul's servants, but he behaved wisely. So there we see in the first verse that he thought and spoke wisely, and now he behaved wisely. All he did so correctly with wisdom, correctly with that intelligence, and King Saul trusted David. So we should have into account all of these details, all of these elements, so that our daily life, our personal life, or our everyday life, we can know how to behave and not offend or harm anyone, but that the people live of this example that we give them. So this is my advice, to read the Bible and learn, because the Bible teaches us to be very prudent. And let us ask the Lord as well for the Lord to give us prudency, wisdom, and knowledge, and that in this same way we can be happy and make others happy as well. May God bless you all. Continue forward.